Just how close did Trump get to overthrowing our democracy with a military coup? And could the next Donald do it? Like, subscribe, ding the bell, share with your friends and family.
When Madison and his buddies were putting together the Constitution, one of the things that they had seen repeatedly throughout European history was military coups, militaries overthrowing governments, whether they were kingdoms or fledgling democratic attempts. And it's one of the reasons why they made sure that the commander-in-chief of the military was a civilian. And it's also the reason that I think it was in the 1930s, might have been a little later than that, it might have been post-World War II, you perhaps know, that we actually put into law that the head of the Department of Defense has to be a civilian or at least 10 years out from the military. They dropped that down to 7 years out, I think, in the 50s. Is it our civilian control of the military that saved us from the military, or the traditions within our military that saved us from Donald Trump using the military against us, expanding what he did in Washington, D.C., nationwide, or what he did here in Portland, Oregon, for that matter? Or was the military made more vulnerable by the fact that he was able to install his toadies in its leadership, and now he's decapitated much of the senior leadership of the Defense Department and installed toadies, and everybody's a little nervous about where that's going to go? Please speak to all that.
Yeah, that at the time in the summer, I saw, because I've been tracking the military-Trump relationship for some time because I worked on military coups, and I saw what was going on with Barr energizing also with law enforcement, but using the military as props and having the, troops come in and warehouse outside the Capitol. I thought that all of that would be a rehearsal for election time. And other things. The Department of Defense, at one point in 2019, tweeted to civilians, could they identify unused urban tunnels? And I immediately thought, counterinsurgency, counterinsurgency warfare. And what I see Trump is, from my perspective of studying authoritarians, is he was really trying to bring the war against, insurgents home. And he, as we saw in Portland and other places, he started identifying protesters, civil rights, organizers, dissenters, as domestic terrorists, and starting to make them political enemies. And this is one of the main things when we think about the legacy of the Trump era. He's not gone yet, but he to the old enemies, the racial enemies of African Americans and Muslims, he added new enemies. And this, there are precedents, the Cold War and other times in American history, but being someone who didn't agree with them made you now a political enemy. Being a protester made you a political enemy. So I saw this in a very dim light. And what was so interesting is you saw the limits of what would be tolerated in America, because he overplayed his hand in Lafayette Square, and he pissed off, General Milley by making him a prop. And so this came back to haunt him. Yeah, because what was really terrifying about recent events is that he was, of course, trying the electoral maneuvers, but he also was exploring military options.